Chairman.
Absolutely. Thank
Now, if I may, let me address some questions to Mr. Medina. One of the programs, actually, that's pretty prominent in Central Florida is simulation. I don't know, have we talked? I had to attend several other hearings at the same time. Have they talked about simulation and use for fire testing today?
We have not discussed it here.
You have not discussed it today. Do you have a program in DHS for?
We actually took this on as a Weapons and Ammunition Commodity Council initiative back, I believe, and I'll have to do the research on it, in 2010, where we have an IDIQ contract for simulators. We have the ability for programs to buy them. And so while it doesn't replace all the live fire, and it can never because the technology is not quite there yet, we definitely are big proponents of it.
See, I would have to differ with you dramatically. The military is saving hundreds of millions of dollars, in fact, billions of dollars, with simulation. And most of our troops, how many of your troops are going into, or your personnel are going into combat daily? They're not firing those weapons actually in operational situations daily, are they?
No, they're not.
No, most of what you're firing is in training. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Almost all of it. There is absolutely no reason why you should not have an extensive simulation training. And the ability to train personnel, whether it's military or law enforcement, with simulation, not using live fire, has incredible potential for saving and better training. And you can't come before the committee and tell me that they don't have sophisticated systems or simulation that will equal their experience on the range.
Sir, I'm a big proponent of that. I've been to several.
But do we have contracts?
We do.
And what agencies do?
ICE established a contract, a DHS-wide contract back in 2010 for simulators. Now, the actual units are quite expensive, but we're a huge proponent.
You don't even have to buy them. You can lease them, and they can provide the training and the service.
Right. The only issue that they're having, you see it in the military with really expensive types of equipment and aircraft for the simulations, and they get a lot of value for their buck out of that. But when it comes to small arms, it's
come on, don't tell me that. 20 years ago, I helped the live fire testing program that the military, in fact, we started almost all the military simulation with saving money for not firing live ammunition in training. Almost every penny of it. I know that for a fact.
We're doing FLETC is currently using simulations for some of the basic instruction, just to get a little bit more of the basic foundation.
I think you need to get beyond basic. Again, in a time in which we have incredible deficits, Homeland, and I've seen some of the money that you're spending is absolutely outrageous on live fire testing. It can be done with simulation, and they have the technology to properly train people. Your folks aren't in a day-to-day combat situation like our military, so don't sit there and tell me that you cannot use this to a greater extent and save taxpayer money.
Sir, I certainly am a big proponent of simulation.
But how much money are you spending out of your budget for simulation?
Well, I can't.
Can you provide that to the committee?
I can provide you.
I bet it's pennies on the dollar. And actually, if you turn that around, you can save probably 85–90% of what you're spending on ammunition and live fire training by substituting it with simulation.
One of the problems we have with simulation is it doesn't replicate the recoil. And since we shoot handguns, unlike the military that mostly shoots—
Again, please don't tell me that. We started the program and followed this for 20 years. I think you're so far behind the times, and again, using the most expensive means of training, live ammunition, and you do not have to use that, and you can enhance their skills far greater in a whole host of experiences that you can't replicate at a range firing that weapon. Did you know that?
We do that. We use it for judgment.
Okay, I want to see exactly how much you're spending for every agency. In fact, Mr. Chairman, I know we're looking at other agencies too. I'd like to see what they are spending as far as simulation versus live fire testing, and have that made part of the record. Thank you, and yield back.